We all set, Tony?
We're all set. I'm just pulling up some stuff. Is Josh? Oh, there's Josh.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Wait for Dean. Dan, do you have the updated motion for the sheds?
Yes.
All right, so when we get there, you can read it for the selectmen. We'll do discussion.
Okay.
Mark, you're a little, I can kind of hear you. Oh, you might have been covering the
Yeah,
microphone.
sorry, yeah. Sorry. Under E, approve the ARPA spending for composting. You
Yeah.
wanna put that after ongoing business, because you're gonna describe the composting pilot program there.
Yeah, we can do it whenever you want.
Okay,
Yep.
why don't we do that? We can make the motion and then you can talk about the composting program. Why don't we do that?
Yeah. All right.
All right. Is Gene on?
He's on. He's muted right now.
Okay. Gene, you
Okay.
there? Hi, Gene.
Hey, Mark.
Okay. Okay, so let's see, it's 6:32. So I will open the Board of Selectmen's meeting on Wednesday, October 18th, 2023 at 6:32 via Zoom. All members of the board are in attendance. So let's see. I'll read through the opening comments. The compost area open on Wednesdays and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. 2023 resident stickers required. Visit the Public Works page at nahant.org for a full list of acceptable materials. Recycling for metal, white goods, TV, and computers. Last day of this season will be October 28th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. behind the DPW garage on Flash Road. Resident stickers required. Visit the Public Works Department at nahant.org for acceptable materials. Certain fees may apply. Curbside leaf pickup begins. Hold on one second. I'm kind of in an awkward position here. Let me just finish this here. 1 second. Curbside leaf pickup begins in October on every Monday except Columbus Day. Leaves must be in biodegradable bags only. No open barrels. Roots, root balls, or branches bigger than 4 inches in diameters. Bags must be out by 7 a.m. Water, sewer, trash bills due October 23rd, 2023. Please call the Treasurer Collector's Office with any questions. And finally, the annual PTO Halloween Bash will be on Saturday, October 21st, starting at 2 p.m. at the Nahant Little League. Josh, you have any opening comments?
I have no additional opening comments.
Gene?
No, I have no comments.
Okay, great. Okay. Coast Guard Housing Project update. Any updates, Tony?
Dan, do you want to start?
You're muted, Dan.
There we go. Okay, so the Coast Guard housing update, in terms of litigation, we are very close to a trial date in one of the tenancies. That looks to be November 8th. And I can't say for sure because we just filed a motion today. It was originally scheduled for, believe it or not, November 1st, but a bunch of the attorneys couldn't make it, so that wasn't feasible. So we all agree on the 8th as a good date. I checked with our witnesses. Everyone's good on the 8th. So that would be the introduction to the litigation trial portion of the ongoing summary process actions. So that's where we are with the one tenancy. Two other tenancies moved to dismiss based on different reasons we can discuss at some point in executive session. But we're still waiting the decisions on those two. One tenancy is looking to leave. We have on good word that they will be out sometime in December. We don't know exactly when. They're waiting for their new housing to be finalized, but waiting for a written confirmation from their attorney. And we might even be able to get them out sooner if we can work with them a little bit. But we're still in the throes of working that out. So that's where we are at the moment in terms of the litigation.
All right.
Dan, I was just going to ask Dan. I was thinking there was only 3 houses still occupied, but that sounded like 4.
Well, okay, so no, you're right. There are 3, but there are 4 different tenants actually on a written documents. 2 occupy 1 dwelling, and then 2 others occupy 2 dwellings. So there are 3. You're right. There are 3 houses occupied.
Tony?
As far as the demolition and abatement project goes, we've issued a notice to proceed. We have all of our bonds and insurances in place. Abatement started today at 1 Goddard. And power has been disconnected from 6 and 8 Goddard, 114 and 116 Gardner, and 298 Castle. Temporary fence will be installed sometime next week. And our contractor is going to be working with Zach to schedule cutting and capping of water and sewer lines, hopefully starting the week of October 30th. And we should be getting, 2-week schedule and progress reports, schedule updates and progress reports every 2 weeks here on out.
So does that mean that you expect them to be on site more or less continuously from now until the job is done?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tony, do you think it would be wise to just put a note? I'm not. Are we using the digital sign in front of the bank anymore to let people know that we're beginning this project? And if not, then do you think it would be wise to just notify the neighborhood with a flyer, telling them what to expect in the next week or so?
I don't see why that would hurt. I'll make a note of it and try and figure out what the best way to do that is.
Yeah. And if anybody has any questions, to give Town Hall a call.
Okay.
It's just that, especially with school and trucks and a lot of stuff going back and forth, I know the chief is probably all over this. But I would be concerned with the kids at school and that increased activity in that area.
Yeah, when we met with them pre-construction, we talked to them about the school schedule. So there'll be no trucks during drop off or pickup. They're starting at Goddard Drive so that, you know, it's really a cookie cutter type approach here, but they're going to get, you know, familiar and get into kind of a routine on Goddard. So you know, as they get closer to the school, they should really be, you know, flowing efficiently and therefore, you know, less impact to that side of the neighborhood and, you know, more close to the school. So we have tried to put some of those protections in place, but let me think a little bit more about, you know, an abutter's note or, you know, a digital message board sign or, you know, how to go about doing that.
Okay, great. Good enough.
Well-
Any other discussion? Jane, any comments on this?
No, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
One last question. Is there any logic to not cutting off all the power and all the water and sewer right away? Tony?
Well, for what purpose, I guess?
I guess just if we know we're not gonna use it, so we just get it over with and shut it all off.
Oh,
This is not-
they just,
rationale for going, you know, piecemeal.
yep, they're working, that's their progress. I mean, they just started this week. So I think as far as power goes, it's working with National Grid. And I think they talked about, you know, wanting to maintain power to 2 of the units, you know, on either end, just in case they need it in order, you know, for their own tools and stuff or whatever they need it for.
Yeah.
They might want water as well when it comes to demo to keep dust down. So yeah, there is some logic to the method that they're going through. I'm actually shocked that they already have that much. They've already made that much progress in, you know, 3 days. So
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yeah, Josh makes a good point, Tony. You might have Zach just exercise the gate valve at the corner of Tri-Mountain and Goddard to make sure he can get shut down easily on Goddard Drive if necessary. If, you know, something gets broken or snapped, he can shut that down. Might want to check it sooner rather than later. And also, I would suggest at least a service gates on each of the houses on Castle Road. Make sure we can get shut down on those before we start ripping things down. You just don't want to rip something out and you can't shut it off. So I would check those valves before we did demolition.
I think he's already started doing that. That
Okay.
was a topic of discussion. We're actually going to be installing new gate valves at, you know, our hope is to do it like at the sidewalk. Right now, they're actually by the front doors of the existing of the buildings. So we want to move those to the public way, which is going to require, you know, a larger shutdown. So I think Zach's already been game planning on that, but I'll revisit it with him.
And I'm sure he's on top of it. Okay, great. Well, good progress, Tony.
Yes, thank you.
Let's see. We'll move on to new business. We have a couple of votes for some event requests. Someone want to take them? Josh or Jean?
Sure, I move the Board of Selectmen vote to approve the following event requests. The Johnson School Winter Concert on Thursday, December 20, 2023 at the Town Hall starting at 6 p.m. and the Veterans Day Memorial Service on Saturday, November 11th, 2023 at the Veterans Memorial Park starting at 10 a.m.
Seconded.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion on these motions?
No.
Okay, great.
I would just say one thing. I'd like to see a lot more people attend that Veterans Day Memorial. They do a great job with that.
Yeah,
is strong as any town in the region.
that's right. Yeah, so all are welcome. I plan on being there. It is a good event, and well prepared, Gene. I agree.
Mark, if I may, following up on Gene, I really appreciate that, Gene. I mean, this year is unique. It's on Saturday. So Saturday at 11 a.m. on the 11th of November. So maybe it's a great opportunity for folks to bring out their kids or their grandkids as well. And hopefully, unlike this summer, we'll have a great weekend day in which to perform the ceremony.
No
Great.
rain on that Saturday.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Bob. And thanks for all you do. And everybody in the American Legion do a great job. And, you know, I say it all the time, but you guys really brought that alive again. And I really appreciate it.
It makes it easy when we have the support of the town, you know, the selectmen, the administration, and all of the departments. We really appreciate all of you and look for opportunities to support you as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, an aside here, I have a flag to retire. How do I go about that?
That's a great question, Gene. I get that occasionally. So the American Legion is open most Fridays, almost every Friday, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. for our veteran social. So, you know, any veteran in town, whether you're American Legion or not, and their guest is welcome for that time. But you can anybody can drop off a flag during that time for us to store so we can dispose of it properly during our flag retirement ceremony, which is usually held around Flag Day as well. So
Great, thank you.
All right, great. Thanks, Bob. Any further discussion on these motions?
No.
Seeing and hearing none, all in favor?
Gene Canty, aye.
Josh Hanford, aye.
Mark Cullen, aye. We have some leases to approve, the lobster trap storage leases.
I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to approve the lobster trap storage leases for the, excuse me, for the term of 1 year beginning September 1st, 2023 to August 31st, 2024 to the following people: Anthony Alessi, Bill Mahoney, Josh Mahoney, Justin Mahoney, Mark Irvine, and Rick Maletti. And all people mentioned have signed their lease agreements and have paid the required storage fee.
I'll second that.
Motion is made and seconded. Discussions on the motion.
There'll be additional leases to be voted on as we get them signed and payments made. I want to commend, you know, the Lobstermen and the DPW for working so well together down there at the compost facility. Last year, I think, was the first year we amended the terms of this agreement to start in September. So we are a little bit behind on getting this done, but by doing that in September, you know, all their traps are in the water for the most part over the summertime. And one of the biggest pieces of this renewal is making sure that, you know, the site is kept clean. And so it's way easier for us to do that while their traps are in the water, the area's open. They work with the DPW to clean up the spots. We're maintaining it, you know, at a higher level than I think it's ever been maintained before. So really good, you know, partnership going on there between the local lobstermen and our DPW. So I commend them both.
Totally agree.
I agree also, Tony. The place has never looked better. So great job for all involved. Okay, any further discussion on the motion? Seeing here and none, roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Josh Hanford, aye.
Mark Cullen, aye. We have some surplus equipment to dispose of. Josh?
I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to declare the 9
Actually,
8-foot.
Josh, before you finish that, I think Dan has an updated motion for you.
Okay, all right.
No, actually, this motion should be if I understand it correctly, the motion to declare them surplus. And then we have a second motion. if I got it right.
The
And I think-
motion,
There are two motions here.
Right.
yeah, I had an edit I didn't think made it into your packet yet, Josh. So, and Dan, I thought you added, so maybe let me read what I have here.
Okay,
I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to declare up to 9 8x10 sheds located at the Coast Guard housing properties as surplus. And I further move that pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30B, Section 15G, that the town donate the Coast Guard housing sheds to American Legion Post 215. Is that okay, Dan?
One edit, when you made that second sort of sub motion, it again should be up to 9, not all the 9, up to 9.
Correct.
To give us some
Correct.
leeway. So maybe you want to reword that last half.
Okay. So it's going to be, I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to declare up to 9 8x10 sheds located at the Coast Guard housing properties as surplus. And I further move that pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30B, Section 15G, that the town donate up to 9 Coast Guard housing sheds to American Legion Post 215.
Sounds good.
so moved.
Motion's been made and
Second.
seconded. Any further discussion on the motion?
I believe the intent of the American Legion is to sell these sheds and donate the proceeds to, I forget what the charitable cause is, but if Bob's still on, you can tell us.
I don't see Bob. Bob, I think
Should
left.
know.
Yeah, my understanding, Josh, is that you're correct, that it would go to the American Legion. They would sell them for, again, I'm not quite sure what purpose, but I also believe that GJ Towing has agreed to move them. Is that correct, Tony?
That's my understanding. So after we take this vote, I'll be sitting down with the Legion to kind of work out the details. Dan, so we did an inventory and kind of a quality assessment of the sheds. There's 9 available now. In my opinion, I think probably 4 or 5 of them are salvageable. The others probably need some work, but maybe somebody, decides to purchase one of the, the worse off ones and have a little home project out of it. So I'm going to work with Dan McMacken and the Legion on how this program is going to work. Ideally, we are going to set up a kind of a deadline as to when they need to be removed from our property by, because certainly, we don't want to store them on the town property long term. Anything that doesn't get sold will get added into the demolition project of the Coast Guard housing project. So through looking at assessing the quality of them and working with Dan, we determined that they don't meet the value threshold that would require us to put them up to auction through Chapter 30B procedures. We can donate them directly to this nonprofit and allow them to run this fundraiser. So I think they are going to take the lead on advertising the program, and maybe I got to work with them about having people come and visit and pick which ones they want to bid on or how they're going to price them, and then G&J, I believe, yes, is going to handle the transport from the Coast Guard housing property to whoever purchases the shed. So those details are still to come. This was kind of the first step, was for the Board of Selectmen to approve the surplusing of the sheds and the donation to the Legion.
Sounds good. Okay, any further discussion on motion? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor?
Gene Canty, aye.
Josh Infant.
Mark Cullen and I. Okay, we have a motion here to approve ARPA funding for composting pilot program. Can I have the motion? We can have a discussion later.
I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to encumber $15,000 from American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, spending to fund the composting pilot program for the town of Nahant.
Second,
Motion made and seconded. Tony, I see this is also covered in ongoing business, but maybe you can pull that out of there and discuss it now before we vote.
Yes, so as far as ARPA spending goes, the town originally received $1,050,059.71. Our current expenses are at $969,455.95. So the balance left in ARPA funding for the town, which needs to be spent by December of next year, is $80,603.76. This is something that we've talked about a lot, prioritizing the costs for, the public health needs of the town. And now that we've kind of gone through that time of our lives, and we've allocated funding from our omnibus budget for public health, we were able to use some of this funds for other capital projects. And now we've talked amongst ourselves in going through our waste services issues, and came up with an idea of using some of this money towards solving some of those cost issues that the town is facing. So with the approval of this, our balance will go down to $65,603.76, which we can always encumber more should this program be very successful and need more funding. We've talked about using the remaining amount of that funding for potentially uniform waste totes for trash. So that's the background on the ARPA budget. This composting program, we've worked with SWIM to develop this program, and I will share my screen to show everyone in town will be getting a postcard in the mail. You should be able to see that now. What this program is going to do, it's a reimbursable program for eligible residents. Eligible residents are those who currently are serviced by our waste management curbside collection program and are not current members of Black Earth composting. It's an optional program. Any resident that wants to sign up for Black Earth Compost, if you sign up for a 1-year membership with weekly curbside pickup and purchase any starter kit, the town will reimburse you in full. So that's valued at around $245. Plus, you'll SWIM has donated funds for metal countertop containers. So those would be available at the town hall for members of this program as well. We have an informational session on October 24th by Zoom at 7:00 p.m. where we'll go through the details of the program and answer any potential questions. But this postcard will be getting delivered this upcoming week. This QR code will bring you right to Black Earth Composting website where you can sign up. And there's some frequently asked questions on the back about the program. I'll also show our website. Can you see our website now?
Yes.
yeah,
So under the helpful, we're gonna add a, a picture on the right side, so it's still somewhat of a work in progress. But under Public Works, the bottom link is compost pilot program. And again, you have information here that explains, what this program is, how it works. So, residents go to the Black Earth website. They sign up for a 1-year weekly pickup plan, purchase any of the offered starter kits. Then you fill out the reimbursement form. You attach a copy of your paid receipt in your welcome email, submit it to the town. We will send you a check to reimburse you for the cost of that. And you can come and pick up one of these metal countertop containers. Those starter kits will come with a curbside tote and some bags, compostable bags as well. We have about 75 customers in Nahant that are signed up for Black Earth right now. And once we get to 100 customers, Black Earth will reduce their prices by 30% for all Nahant residents. And that ramps up a little bit more if we get to 200 customers. I think you also are, as a customer, you also get some free compost, like a 3-pound bag. But we were in conversation with Black Earth Compost about, the town getting a better rate and purchasing, maybe a truckload and delivering it to the compost site where any residents could come and get some compost. And then you may also be eligible for a $20 abatement on your trash bill. So, for the cost of the mailing plus about $250. I think the mailing was about $3,000 or $2,500. So 15,000 minus 2,500 is 12,500 divided by, call it 250. This approval of the encumbrance of about $15,000 gives us enough funds, should be, for 50 new customers. Like I said, we're hoping for it to keep coming. I hope we're coming back to the board to encumber some more funds for this project, because obviously we want, the more the better. The more we can move the weight of compostable items from your curbside collection and trash to Black Earth compost collection, the more we can save as a town on our tonnage and our tipping fees.
Tony, are there any participation numbers for other communities?
I can get those. I don't have them. We can get those from Black Earth. You want to know like how many people in Swampscott are signed up and Marblehead and stuff like that?
Exactly.
Yeah, we can get those numbers.
Might be helpful, just something that we can share.
Yes.
Thanks, Gene. A question, Tony. As you know, I'm a big supporter of this for a number of reasons, both environmental and financial. I think the environmental benefits are obvious. We're not sending our food waste to the incinerator to be burnt. We're recycling it and making it productive material again. And secondly, we're taking probably an average, I probably average 20 to 30 pounds a week in food waste on my Black Earth that is not going into my waste stream, curbside pickup. So we are billed by tonnage. So hopefully we can reduce our collection fees because the tonnage is being reduced. A couple quick questions. I did notice on social media that because I think people know that I've been a big proponent of this. I am currently a member of Black Earth, and I find it very useful. I have never requested an abatement or received an abatement for my participation in Black Earth. But as you said, there are 75 people who are currently participating in this program in the town. So this reimbursement wouldn't affect them, correct?
Right, they would not be eligible, and
Okay.
we certainly commend them for being the leaders on this. And I think, a lot of those folks have been coming to us for years about, help us promote this program, because if we get to 100, we'll get a 30% discount. And so that's really what this program is trying to do, is incentivize new members to sign up. And when we get there, all members will get the reward of a 30% discount on their pricing. But they are also eligible for, they're eligible for the $20 abatement on their trash fee. They just wouldn't be eligible for this pilot program.
Again, I'm a big advocate of this. I participated in it. Some people think, oh, I'm going to save all my food waste. It's no big deal. I put the container in my sink. There's no stink to it at all. Every week I get to clean out any expired food products I have from my refrigerator or my pantry. And I'm not putting them down my garbage disposal or putting them into the waste stream at curbside. It's very easy, very efficient, and I encourage everybody to participate in this. And I want to thank you, Tony, for spearheading this. I know that it was Ellen Goldberg from a member of Swim has been helping you on this.
Ellen, Vi, Christy, Lee, and Katarina. I'm not gonna try to say her last name, but yeah.
Rattleburger.
Thank you, Vi. And Mary Lowe at the town hall too, has been a leader on this. So I'm the mouthpiece for it, but they've been doing all the work behind the scenes.
The only thing I would caution people, so Black Earth comes on every Tuesday. They come early. I get mine out on Monday night because they're usually there by 6:30 a.m. The containers that they give you are very secure. They have a lock mechanism that animals, raccoons, skunks, coyotes can't penetrate. So I put mine out on Monday night. And I've never had a problem. So again, I encourage everybody to join in this opportunity. And again, thank you, Tony and Ellen and Swim for helping out in this.
Yes, hopefully we get, I've had a lot of people have reached out ever since we announced it. So hopefully the postcards help really get the word out. And, I have high hopes for new membership getting signed up. When we talked about this up until now, we thought about different ways to try to incentivize it. This was like the home run method, really, really incentivize it. So you get a full year for free, you get a free starter kit, you get a countertop container, you get bags. I mean, it's everything. If you've ever thought about it and you just didn't want to do it because of the financial, upfront costs, I mean, this is really taking that out of, taking that hurdle away. So it's worth it, I think, to take advantage of.
And let me just say that I pay a monthly fee to Black Earth of $20 a month. And so we have 75 participants in the town now. If we make 100, then it's reduced by 30%.
Yes.
So after a year, if you want to continue with it, the most that you would end up paying is like $13 a month.
Yeah. And the numbers, the estimated tonnage and dollars saved by, removing it from waste management curbside collection into Black Earth curbside collection is pretty astronomical. And we're going to be collecting that data or trying to, keep track of that data. So I'm excited to see how it moves the needle, because it could make serious financial positive impacts on our costs on the waste management side.
Great. Any further discussion? Josh, Gene?
No, I'm fine. That's great. Great job you guys did in presenting that. Thanks. You ever sell used cars, Mark?
No, no, not quite sure I'd be very good at it. Josh, any further questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, no further questions. Any discussion? We'll have a roll call vote.
Gene Canty, aye.
Josh Antrim, aye.
Mark Cullen and I. Thanks, Tony. Okay, that brings us to ongoing business. So first, we have the housing production plan update. I'm not sure if Michelle is on tonight. Michelle, are you here?
Yes, she is.
I am. Hello, everyone.
Okay,
I'm
maybe you
sitting on
and
the ferry on my way home.
Okay.
So in terms of our update on the housing plan, we recently finished the draft plan. We recently have distributed it to the planning board and the board of selectmen for their review and feedback. And in early November, there'll be a meeting of both boards to discuss the plan, address any further or final comments back to the housing committee, and then vote to adopt the plan so we can submit it to the state. I do want to thank the members of the committee. It's been almost a year process since this started. And we've met, pretty regularly to go through all the different facets, working with Metropolitan Area Planning Council. And we want to thank them as well. Our consultants have been great partners to work with.
Tony, want to add anything to that?
No, I think, the committee's done a great job. MAPC has been, extremely valuable throughout the process. Michelle's really taken the lead on this and, done a great job of making sure we're sticking to a timeline. So I commend, I also think it's very important to commend, all the people, the volunteers, the residents who have been participating in the process. So excited to get closer to the finish line.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. And I want to echo Tony's remarks. Michelle, thank you so much for leading this campaign on the housing production plan. You've done a great job. As you know, I am a member of the committee. I want to thank the other members of the committee for their participation. And as Tony said, everybody, every town resident who showed up and commented on our public forums, really appreciate it. You can't open the Boston Globe or even the Lynn Item nowadays, or turn on the news without listening to how communities are trying to deal with affordable housing in their towns, cities and towns. So it's something that we need to address. I think you've done a great job in helping us through this, Michelle, and I just really appreciate it. Thank you.
I would like to just make a comment too, Michelle, and just to say for you and your committee, I'm really impressed by how quickly you guys have pulled this together. Excellent job.
Thanks, Gene. And we couldn't, everyone has had a specific role in doing different things as part of work. It was definitely a team effort. It was a community effort, or it was the community engagement forums that we held, or responding to the survey, or even just simply attending the meeting. We've had a really great group of residents who have been, some of them coming consistently, attending the meetings, listening, and certainly things that we've gotten over email as well, that, give us ideas and, further the work that we've done.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. ongoing business, we have the new town administrator's goals for FY 24. Were they included in this, Tony?
No, I think this, the last meeting, we kind of closed the door on the previous goals, and now we're kind of opening the door to the upcoming goals. And, I thought I just wanted to keep the ball rolling, so put it on the agenda for you guys to maybe discuss, how you want to proceed. I think in the past, we talked a little bit about, what goals we might want to keep on the list, because a lot of them were continuing actions. And then, maybe you guys talk about a plan for, putting together some future goals to talk about at an upcoming meeting.
We'll do that. Tony, if you could get to Kristen any new goals that you would like to put on, we could start there. And I'll have Kristen get out to Gene and Josh some correspondence and trying to develop a new set for FY 24.
As we, Mark, as you had suggested before, and using a timetable, as we go through the previous goals and determine which have been completed and which are still hanging out there, I suggest we do as Tony said, and identify those and put a timeline on them.
I agree, Jane. We should do that, and we should probably have at least quarterly or semi-annual or biannual reviews, so that we're not waiting to the end of the year
Yeah.
to review them. So if something's not being accomplished and there are reasons for that, then we can discuss that early on and try to help Tony out and straighten that out, etc. So I think that absolutely we should put a timeline on it, and we should try to meet at least quarterly, I think, in during our meetings to review where we stand.
Agreed.
Josh, any further comments, Josh?
No, not really. I think I sent mine in a few weeks back when we did the evaluation. So I'll take another look and see if there's any updates I want to include and get them back to Kristen.
Sounds good. Thanks, Josh. Okay, so we have Kings Beach outfall update. Been a lot of news about this. Tony, you want to let us know?
Yeah, so we talked about putting together kind of a joint meeting with our neighboring communities. I reached out to some of them. I rethought kind of how we wanted to approach this. Let them know that we're certainly supportive and want to encourage the improvement of the situation at Kings Beach. I reached out to Senator Crichton and Representative Capano and asked them if they could maybe, meet with me and a member of the Board of Selectmen. So Mark, because of open meeting law, can only be one of you guys in the room at a time. So Mark, I invited you to join us in that meeting. We're going to be doing that, I think, next week to kind of get a full overview of the issue that they're facing there and, the solutions that they're considering, and kind of ask our state representatives to and state delegation, our state senator and state representatives, kind of ask them to discuss this topic more on a regional basis than just isolated with Swampscott and Lynn. We certainly don't want to step on any toes and kind of like try to take the lead on this or push it into any certain direction. We're not, fully informed on what the situation is there, while we are supportive. So this will be kind of our first opportunity to get a full background of information on, the situation over there at Kings Beach. And I think from there, we can utilize our relationship with our state delegation and then kind of bring in our neighboring municipalities to kind of have more of a regional discussion about the situation. But, you know, I personally felt like, you know, initiating a regional meeting from the town of Nahant really wasn't the right way to go. But I did want to set up a meeting to get more information. And then I think, you know, kind of talking about it more with our neighbors about them initiating more of a regional meeting is the proper way to go, because it's really their it's their domain, not really ours.
Yeah, I agree, Tony, and I think it's a good idea to get our delegation in town to discuss this, and perhaps Senator Crichton and Representative Capano and people from Land and Swampscott can initiate sort of a regional type of response to this, because it will affect us all. And I do want to thank Vi and members of SWIM for keeping involved with this and representing what some of the town's concerns are. I appreciate that effort, Vi, and other members of SWIM for helping out in that regard. Any other discussion on this?
Sounds good.
None here.
Great, thanks, Tony. Okay, a public meeting with MEMA director. Want to tell us about that, Tony?
Yes, we're actively working on a flyer, and we're going to promote this on social media and on our website. Our emergency management team, led by Chief Furlong, has put this together. In July of 2023, the Healy Driscoll administration appointed the new MEMA director, Don Brantley. Before being appointed director, Brantley was serving as acting director since October of 2021 and brings over 15 years of emergency management and disaster recovery experience at the state and local levels. Members of the police, fire, emergency management, DPW, and harbor master departments and selectmen, hopefully, will be joining us at the town hall for a meet and greet with Director Brantley and her team. I think this is really showing, you know, Chief Furlong's leadership in, you know, bringing our emergency management department to the next level by bringing the director into town. They're going to put on a little bit of a presentation to talk about the importance of emergency management. And she's going to talk a little bit about, you know, where our risks are and how we can properly prepare for, you know, climate change and increased storms of high magnitude. So we encourage the public to attend. We'll broadcast it as well. I know it's during the day, but this is open to the public, and it's an opportunity to kind of hear directly from the state MEMA director, you know, how important emergency management is, and what the town of Nahant, you know, how the town of Nahant is unique and in what we're facing as an island community.
Great. I look forward to that. I will be in attendance. I might have a couple of kids towing along with me, but I'll be there. Great. Thanks for you and the chief putting this on, Tony. Appreciate it. Okay. Preserving East Point. Josh, any update on that?
Nothing much. I spoke to our attorney last Thursday, I guess it was. And in September, both parties had filed motions for summary judgment. They have a certain period of time to respond, and those responses were submitted last Friday. The timeline remains about the same, a hearing in probably November, and a decision on the summary judgment motions in the first 60 days or so of 2024 is what our attorney expects. And our attorneys remain quite confident in our success in putting a conservation restriction on this land. So progress continues at a slow pace, but things seem to be looking good, I think.
Yeah, I feel the same. Thanks for keeping on top of this, Josh. Appreciate it. Okay, we have town administrators report.
COVID tests and flu shot clinic update. During our flu clinic on October 11th, we were able to vaccinate 130 residents and employees. So thank you to Anna McNicholas, our public health nurse, and all of our volunteer health nurses who helped us put on a successful clinic. We also have we purchased new at-home COVID test kits, which are available at the town hall and the library. We also printed out a QR code and attached it to the box. That'll bring you to the government website where you can register to receive 4 more free tests mailed directly to your house. If you go to nahant.org, as far as COVID vaccine and boosters go, and hold on, let me share my screen. I'll show where this is.
You can see that.
Okay, so on the left side, departments, and go to public health. There's a location, there's a link there to find locations for COVID-19 vaccines for boosters that you can click there and sign up. Farmers market this past weekend, there were 25 vendors altogether. It was a great response from vendors and the public. I want to commend Chris and Taylor and the other volunteers who helped put this together. It was a very successful season of farmers markets. I think it was enjoyed by all. Water, sewer, trash bills. Just a reminder that the bill that you received in the mail came with an envelope, and residents should be mailing their payment with the bill in that envelope to the Reading, Mass address. We're have enrolled with Lockbox. It's a streamlined payment process that's handled in Reading. So I know it looks odd that it says Town of Nahant with a Reading, Mass address, but it is correct. Our Ward Road pump station general bid opening, which was scheduled for today, got extended until Wednesday, October 25th. We had some addendums to the RFP related to insurance requirements that we got from Maya. So we had to make those changes and then extended our deadline, but we'll be opening the general bids on Wednesday, October 25th. And lowlands drainage, we have a new stormwater engineer who was on site yesterday and will continue to be this week, beginning their survey work on the stormwater improvements in the lowlands. So what we're trying to do, hopefully we're going to be designing that project, linking it with our water main projects funded through the MWRA zero interest loan program for Emerald and Fox Hill Road. And hopefully we'll be bidding those together.
So Tony, the scope of that lowlands drainage is replacing of the pipes on the lower section of Fox Hill Road, the existing pipes, right? Relining the larger pipe that crosses from Fox Hill Road to Ward Road into the ditch, and adding new drains and pipes to drain Castle Way into the ditch, correct? Is that the extent of that scope?
And they're also looking at the stormwater system on Castle Road as well to determine if it needs any sort of replacement or lining. But yes, that's our concept. And the survey work is going to confirm that. You know, they may do that survey work and say, you know, what you wanted to line really should be replaced and maybe increased in size. So some things could change based on that survey work, but that's the general scope of the project. Yep.
And I guess everyone should know that those are all gravity drains, and the outcome will be properly sized and new drains, I guess, new pipes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And additional pipes and additional drains on the Castaway portion. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, Tony, have we ever been able to identify whether or not there is an outfall pipe on the southwestern corner of Doggy Beach? The one that comes across from the lowlands?
It's not there. It goes through, we have an easement through the first property on Castle Road. It doesn't daylight through the revetment currently. So what we're trying to do is, you know, improve the stormwater system that feeds into that outfall pipe and feeds to the ditch. And then phase 2 is to repair, restore that outfall pipe. Whether it likely are the only way we're going to be really permitted to do that probably is to have it as a forced outfall, a forced pump outfall that gets activated in emergency situations.
Is that the one you were referring to, Gene? I didn't know if you meant maybe the one further down that's.
Yeah,
That's what-
yeah,
across from the
right there
playground.
at the very corner of Castle and Doggy
Okay.
Beach. Because it was there when I was a kid, and that's a long time ago.
Yeah, we don't know when it disappeared, but we traced it all the way to the wall. So, but you know, it's so deep, and to restore it as a gravity outfall pipe, one, the permitting now of that would be very difficult to overcome, and two, it would have to be, you know, minimum 300 feet out, because Doggy Beach and that section has flattened out so far that it wouldn't daylight for, you know, hundreds of feet. So,
Really?
yeah.
And Tony, one more quick question on the Wardrobe pump station. So the bid period opens the 24th, did you say? And then companies have how long to respond or get their bids in?
It's open now. We've already
Oh.
gone through the filed sub-bid process. The general bid opening is going to be Wednesday, October 25th at 11 a.m.
Yeah, so does that mean the bids have to be in by then?
Yes,
Okay, that's what
by
I'm just
10:59. Yep.
see.
Tony, how many contractors have taken out documents?
For the Wardrobe pump station, there were 3 companies that attended the optional pre-bid meeting. But I believe there was another 3 or 4 that took documents. Wright Pierce was very pleased with the companies that showed up to the optional meeting, the companies that have come out and actually looked at the facility, and the company and those that have pulled documents for the bid. So they're very, I mean, they're very optimistic about the quality of contractors that are going to be bidding. They don't know yet what you know, what we're going to get for a price, but it sounds like they've worked with a lot of these companies in the past.
Great. I'm sure there's a ton of filed sub bids already, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You've already opened those final sub bids?
Yeah, last week.
And how would those bids come in compared to our estimates?
It's really hard. It was really hard to like do a comparison on that because there's so many different filed sub bids from, you know, electrical work to HVAC work to roofing to, you know, there's just so many different. Andrew felt like he kind of was, he's like, yeah, it looks good. It's not bad. He's not gonna, as a classic engineer, he's not gonna give me like an optimistic feel that, you know, we're gonna come in below budget yet. Right. So he was reserved about how he felt those bids came in, but he was happy with the contractors that were bidding.
Great, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to citizens forum.
I have a question. Thanks for all your work, everybody. Everything just is going so well. I just have a follow-up question.
By name and address?
5 Paddock 172 Willow Road. Thank you, everybody, for all your work. I just have a question about the golf course. In a previous meeting, the Board of Selectmen said they were going to look into gathering data on chemicals put on the golf course. And I wondered if any steps have been taken on that.
Yes, I've met with Brett, and he's provided me a copy of the filing that he's required to provide MDR, Department of Agriculture, on an annual basis that talks about, you know, how much and how often and of what type of chemical that he puts down on an annual basis. So he's provided that information to me at this point, but haven't had a chance to really go through it yet.
Okay. Anybody else on citizens forum, Tony?
Nothing in the chat.
Okay. Okay, if nothing else here. I'll welcome a motion to adjourn.
I move that the Board of Selectmen adjourn.
Seconded.
Motion made, and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Gene Canty, aye.
Josh Antrim,
Mark Cullen, aye. Thanks, Tony. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
aye.
Good night.